What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? Welcome to another episode of Duel School, where of course we are going to be looking over the latest figures in the game right now, and for some reason I went to Fusion instead of Shop. But yes, Duel School, this is like our 16th episode or something like that? Something ridiculous, but as you guys all know, the latest update of the game is here. We have some new Ultra Beasts, we have a new Mega Evolution, along with other EX Pokemon as well, and other rarities, of course. Some really crazy things. We'll go over the update in general in just a minute, but let's start off at least with the new Pokemon that we have. We do have Celesteela being our first Ultra Beast of the episode, with only 1 MP at UX rarity. Interesting. Typing is Steel and Flying, and has the ability Rocket Ride, and it says in its first battle after moving to the field, this Pokemon's flamethrower becomes Flame Gun. The battle opponent and one Pokemon directly behind it are knocked out. At the start of your turn, instead of an MP move, you may move an adjacent Pokemon to a point 3 steps away from this Pokemon. If you do, this Pokemon moves to the Ultra Space. Your turn ends. Now, the funny thing about the Ultra Space is that you can manipulate it even more so than ever before with this update, with Pokemon such as Celesteela, AMPHAROS as well, Mega Ampharos. It gets kind of insane, but let's go over it in more detail. So we have Fly, 3-star purple, as it's commonly been shown. Flamethrower, without being Flame Gun, is 137. I don't think it gets any... Okay, yeah, it just adds the effect of Flame Gun, but no boosted damage or anything like that. Flame Gun, I believe, is a attack that Magmortar has. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Magmortar is the one that was originally known to have Flame Gun. Anyway, of course, when Celesteela is knocked out, if Flamethrower is landed, then the opponent becomes burned. That's great. And then a very awkward 137 damage. That's pretty darn good though, but if you get Grass Knot by the wrong Pokemon, you're done. Let's see, miss size only 4. Not bad, however, I'm sure some of you guys realize that even just leveling up a UX Pokemon to level 5 can be quite... it takes up a lot of resources, we'll put it that way. And then we have Gyro Ball, 107 damage, but deals plus 30 damage if the battle opponent's MP is higher than this Pokemon's MP. So pretty cool, similar to, I guess, what we've seen from Steelix, I do believe. I think that is the case, so they have something pretty neat there. And then let's see, we have another Fly, and then it's Blue Attack Rendezvous. This Pokemon and its battle opponent move to the Ultra Space outside of the field. So interesting. I'm not sure what I'd want to level up most. Perhaps Gyro Ball, perhaps Rendezvous to try to, again, manipulate Ultra Space a little bit, but again, as I said, we'll get into how we do so in just a little bit. So Circuitry, and it says, make Guzzlord brutal, adds weight 3 to paralyzing effects. So let's see what that means exactly. So it's electric type with the ability Blackout, and when this Pokemon moves to the field, the effects of energy plates are lost, and they count as having been used. While this Pokemon is on the field, Pokemon that become paralyzed gain weight 3. In this Pokemon's first battle after moving to the field, Pokemon that battle it will become paralyzed. So they're becoming paralyzed and they're getting weight 3 on top of that. Circuitry is just a monster to be reckoned with. Miss size totaling up to 8, and it has the first attack Zap Cannon. The battle opponent and the Pokemon in a straight line directly behind it become paralyzed. Those Pokemon gain weight. So that's interesting because it just says the Pokemon behind it, which could be your very own. So strategizing your position on the board can be important when using Circuitry, of course. I mean, board position is always important no matter how you're playing, but with Circuitry, you want to be able to take on your opponent and then also paralyze their opponent as well, or the opponent's Pokemon behind it as well, pardon me. Dodge size only 4, so very minuscule, but it helps. Cable Lash is 103, but it deals 2 times damage if the Pokemon or if the battle opponent is paralyzed for 206. Not too bad. And then Ultra Lighting, an interesting blue attack. If there are any Pokemon in the Ultra Space, a Pokemon on the field spins. If it spins a wide attack, it becomes paralyzed. Repeat this effect for each Pokemon in the Ultra Space. So, if you're sending Pokemon to the Ultra Space, this is a great way to have synergy with Ultra Lighting for sure. And the thing is, they're getting paralyzed, so they're being weighted 3. It just gives you a chance to advance or do whatever the heck you want to do. It actually kind of works out for really good surround kills. If they have to just stand around and wait for 3 turns, that could be great for sure. just for setting yourself up as best as possible. And then we have our new Mega Pokemon in the game, Mega Ampharos. Let's get into this right now. So Electric Dragon, as it's commonly known, Homeward Lights is the ability. When this Pokemon appears as a Mega Evolution, and again when its Mega Evolution ends, you may move one of your Pokemon in the Ultra Space or PC next to this Pokemon. Your Electric type and your Dragon type Pokemon deal plus 10. So automatically it gets a plus 20 damage boost. And you get to use this ability twice. Again, when the Mega Evolution first occurs and when it ends, you can start manipulating Ultra Space from that regard, bringing back your own Pokemon from Ultra Space or the Pokemon Center. So pretty darn cool. It's up to you as far as what you want to do. Pretty rad. The thing is, you have to choose one or the other. It's not Ultra Space and the PC, it's one or the other. So kind of have to strategize what works out. One great thing is that Mega Ampharos is pretty flexible, so if you're not running Pokemon that end up in the Ultra Space very often, then you could just take care of Pokemon that are in your PC and set yourself up even more so with more board presence. So you don't really have to worry about your own Pokemon getting knocked out so much. So a total of miss size equaling up to, I believe that's going to be 12, is it? Yeah, 12. Dragon Pulse is 100, but then deals plus 50 if the battle opponent is a Dragon type. So it's actually 120 with the Homeward Lights boost, and then plus 50 equaling 170. Pretty darn cool, potentially speaking. But again, a little situational. The battle opponent has to be Dragon type. Not a whole lot of Dragon usage in the game right now, but maybe even more so, considering that we do have Altaria to worry about and Mega Altaria. So a good way to kind of combat banished decks, so to speak. And then Override is 110 damage, then 130 with the ability, a boost of course, and then all adjacent Pokemon become paralyzed. Pretty decent synergy with Circuitry, so to speak, although you'd have to be careful because, again, this attack can paralyze your own Pokemon, so be aware of your board presence. Dodge size only 4, but again, it helps. It kind of negates your 4 size misses across the board, so again, it helps. But let me know what you guys would rather do. Is it Dragon Pulse that you'd rather level up, or is it Override? Overall, a pretty decent Pokemon and a somewhat decent counter to Altaria, especially just considering how prominent Altaria has become in the meta right now. With banishing being easier than ever, you now have Mega Ampharos as a way to try to get your own Pokemon back. Well, actually, no, if they're banished, that means they're excluded, I do believe, which can just make things pretty awful. So if they're in the PC or Ultra Space, that is something. It's definitely better than nothing. And then we have regular Ampharos, which is an EX figure, 2 MP with the ability Electric Upsurge. While this Pokemon is on the field, your Electric type Pokemon deal plus damage for each paralyzed Pokemon on the field. This effect does not stack. So that's still pretty cool though. I mean, plus damage for each paralyzed Pokemon on the field. Again, just showing even more synergy with Circuitry, with Mega Ampharos, with any Electric type Pokemon, or any Pokemon in general that can cause Paralyzation. It has a miss size totaling up to 8. And Dragon Pulse, again, 90, but plus 5, or plus 50, that is, sorry. That can equal up to 140, that's pretty good. And then plus 10 damage for each paralyzation, that can just get even more insane for sure. And then it has Override, 100 damage. All adjacent Pokemon, again, become paralyzed. And then Beacon Light is neat, removes weight from all your Pokemon on the field. Again, a little situational, but it's a blue attack. It gives you some priority. Not too bad. Kind of funny that they kind of use Pokemon lore in this as well, since it's kind of known that Ampharos can hang out near lighthouses and such, or just a way to guide ships home. Beacon Light, and then also Mega Ampharos as an attack, or has the ability that kind of shows that it kind of does that job as well. It kind of just brings Pokemon lore into this game as well, which I appreciate. Little nods to the original game. So Electros is a pretty interesting Pokemon. Electrobind is the ability, and while this Pokemon is on the field, the effects of abilities of opposing Electric type Pokemon and opposing paralyzed Pokemon that allow passing by other Pokemon with MP moves are negated. At the start of your turn, instead of an MP move, this Pokemon may switch places with an adjacent Electric type Pokemon or paralyzed Pokemon. So, really insane. It only has 1 MP, but it doesn't really have to worry about that, just due to the fact that it has the Electrobind ability, being able to switch places with other Pokemon around. It's not a bad move at all, I don't think. kind of crazy though. You are negating the effects of abilities from electric type Pokemon that are opposite your team and that happen to be paralyzed. So yeah, this is a pretty darn cool support type Pokemon, but also it's able to pack a decent punch with Wild Charge doing 130, and the Pokemon gains weight, but that's pretty decent. You can't really complain with that. And then Shockwave is disappointingly only 1-star purple, but you can make it a little stronger going off Dynamo and Electra. I forget what the previous evolution is called, but we'll get into it right now. The battle opponent and a succession of Pokemon adjacent to it, excluding this one, become paralyzed. So again, be careful. You could paralyze your own Pokemon. That's a big theme of this one. Paralyzation is insane, but you do run the risk of paralyzing your own Pokemon if you don't strategize your board position correctly. And then Wild Charge again, 130, and then Generator. It's big blue attack. It says all adjacent water-type Pokemon become paralyzed. On the next turn, this Pokemon deals plus 30 damage, so pretty rad. Again, a little situational. You may not run into a lot of water-type Pokemon, but if you do, and you hit Generator, you have a good chance of making the good things happen for you. Here we go. And then we have Electric. That was the name, thank you. Here we go. And then Electro Swap. At the start of your turn, instead of an MP move, this Pokemon may switch places with an adjacent Electric-type Pokemon or paralyzed Pokemon, so similar to what Electros can do. Volt Switch, as we know, it is 1-star purple, and this Pokemon switches with the opponent on your bench. With the Pokemon on your bench, pardon me. Don't know what I'm saying. And then Shocking Suction Cups. 70 damage. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes paralyzed. So, all in all, pretty cool evolutions here, and it's not done yet. We still have Flaffy, which evolves into Ampharos, and has the ability Electric Fur. If this Pokemon is not affected by a special condition, all of the blue attacks of non-ground battle-type Pokemon or battle opponents of this Pokemon become misses. This Pokemon cannot be paralyzed. So, one way that you can work this out with your other electric-type Pokemon that cause paralyzation, at least you don't have to worry about Flaffy getting paralyzed, which means that you can more easily evolve into Ampharos and then evolve into Mega Ampharos. Doing so will only power up your Mega Ampharos even further with more evolutions going on. And actually, Mareep is not a bad Pokemon either, which I believe recently got a buff. I could be incorrect about that, but I believe that was in the latest update. So Thunder Wave, 2-star purple as it commonly is. Battle opponent becomes paralyzed. Thunder Punch, 40 damage. If it's knocked out, battle opponent becomes paralyzed. So pretty one-directional. It manipulates battle opponents that are paralyzed very easily. And then Dynamo is a pretty decent little figure as well. Electro Swap, same thing as Electric, I do believe. At the start of your turn, instead of an MP move, this Pokemon may switch places with an adjacent Electric-type Pokemon or paralyzed Pokemon. So you get pretty good variation there. Tackle, only 10, but again, not really to worry about because 52 sizes of your wheel goes to Thunder Wave, which is 2-star purple. So not too bad. It might be a little tough to evolve into Electric, but I think it's a pretty good Pokemon in general. I would love to, I think we're going to see a lot of Electric-type Pokemon decks right now, as if we didn't already. I can only imagine that Tapu Koko is going to just boost this deck even further. It's going to be ridiculous. We do have Luxio, though, and Vikavolt. So some older figures that got some new buffs as well. So we can go into that a little bit. I mean, Luxio was what? Thunderfang 70. That's nice. Vikavolt got some nice stuff as well. When this Pokemon moves from the bench to the field, the Pokemon on the opponent's bench spin. Pokemon that spin a purple attack gain weight. That's always been a part of Vikavolt's attack, but that's fine, or ability, but that's fine. We do have Zap Cannon now doing 120 damage. I think that's 10 damage higher than it used to be, something along those lines. Overall, just a really cool figure. Noivern got a buff as well. Hurricane is great. Boom Burst, I believe, is doing 10 extra damage as well, if not a little more. Along those lines, and I believe Luxray got a boost as well, but I don't see it here. Interesting though. Anyway, we do have some crazy stuff going on here though. As you see, we have 10 packs. We have a new figure sets in the game, which are insane. Pretty much for beginners or anyone that just wants really decent figures for that matter. It's not too bad. 650 gems, which I guess is a little expensive, but you do get 2 EX Pokemon for each one that you buy. You can get Cobalion Moltres, Virizion, and Zapdos. We also get Terrakion or Articuno. Pretty good rare type Pokemon as well. You get evolutions with every single one. Pretty interesting that with the ones that they chose to go with. I mean, you got Jolteon, that's great. Flareon, Vaporeon. You get Brionne. It's just crazy what you can go with here. Dartrix as well. So again, you have a chance to really make things happen. But anyway, guys, it's pretty insane what you get with these. You even get a couple plates with each as well. I might even consider opening some of these one time. If you guys want to see an opening video of these and maybe see them play tested, let me know in the comment section. I would love to see what you guys think. If not, cool. But if you guys do want to see the people battle with these, I'd love to do it. So let me know what's up. Anyway, without further ado, guys, we will get into an opening episode right after this. So if you guys have not watched that yet, be sure to watch it because I'm uber excited to see what we're going to pull. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you all later.